All right, we'll try that. We'll see if that helps. If I'm hot spotted now, because I've got unlimited data, so it doesn't matter. I'd rather use the home Wi-Fi, but if I have to hotspot it, if I'm lagging, I'll try that and see if that doesn't help. Unfortunately, I had to jump off of my live so I could turn my hotspot on. And I had a couple of my regulars in the room, so hopefully they'll find their way back to me. Um, and then they can let me know if I'm lagging still or if I'm not lagging anymore. It's a very annoying and very frustrating thing. It really is. Welcome back, James. It's better now. Yeah, I switched to hotspot, so it's got to be my Wi-Fi here. So I'm going to have to definitely give a call to the provider and see if we can't get that fixed because that drives me nuts. It's a pain in the butt. Luckily I've got unlimited data, so it doesn't matter if I do hotspot and I use a lot of data. So yeah, is that James said it was better for him? Is it better for you, Nick? And now that I've switched to the hotspot, luckily I got unlimited data, so it's not going to cause me to have to pay a massive bill or anything. Good. Hopefully it stays that way. That's going to prompt me because I like doing these lives and I don't want to have to be on hotspot when I do them. So I'm going to have to call my internet provider. And like I was saying earlier too, I mean, it does that all the time. There's some days where I'm in and out, and it just drives me nuts. All of a sudden I'm trying to do something on the internet and, things start spinning and I'm like, oh, come on, not again. Such a pain. But it is what it is. Anybody doing anything spectacular, dropping any more subframes today? Drank 1 gallon of water for 4 days in a row. Yeah, I try to drink as much water as I can. I started doing that. I can't even remember when that was, but I drank hardly any water at all. And there was a point that I got so dehydrated I wound up in the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack or something, and it turned out I was just dehydrated. So now I make sure I drink lots of water. So I'm cheap, so I just fill bottles with tap water and do it that way. And some easy breaks. Yeah, breaks are pretty routine, I hear. So, James, I got banned for somebody had sent or somebody had commented during my live. They wanted me to sell them my socks, and I responded to that in a certain way, and I guess TikTok deemed my response inappropriate. Or meaning something other than what I actually said. And I won't repeat what I actually said because it'll probably get me kicked off again. But, in a nutshell, I kind of said, do what you want. I don't care. I'll take the money. But I'll leave it at that. And, the bad thing about it is, obviously I appealed it because there was nothing that I said that was in the context of what they said it was. But the appeal process is kind of a joke because, the algorithm detects a keyword or something. Something triggers that algorithm. The algorithm makes a decision, boom, kicks you out, and you appeal it. But there's not a human being that is reviewing the appeal. It's basically the algorithm asking the algorithm if the algorithm agrees with the algorithm. And of course, the algorithm is going to agree with itself. So your appeal is pretty much, a pointless process. Yeah, they really are, Nick. I'm sure there are some people who have put an appeal through and it probably was, accepted. But I would think it's probably rare. I'd be curious to know what the stats are on that, actually. Oh, shoot. What song was that, Matt? Remind me. And that means I probably didn't. There was a song that you told me to learn, and I was going to write it down, and I didn't. So you're going to have to remind me what that song is. And then I will learn it. And then if I see you around, I'll have to grab the guitar and Closer to the Heart by Rush. Gotcha. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. Closer to the Heart. I think I've played that song before, but I'm not for sure that I have. I don't play a lot of Rush. Closer to the Heart by Rush. And I may not be able to get to it right away. I got a lot of stuff going on, but at least I've written it down now. I've done that at least. Never had any kidney stones. Yeah, the problem for me wasn't kidney stones or anything like that, James. It was dehydration. I used to drink, and I drank plenty of liquid. Coffee in the morning, and I drink soda during the day a lot of times, and beer in the evening, and it got me. And that was during summertime. I went out in the morning, and I had cut the grass. My wife and I went to the grocery store, and as I was walking to the grocery store, I just started feeling awful. Heart was beating hard in my chest, and I couldn't catch my breath, and I thought for sure I was having a heart attack. Went home, laid down for a couple of minutes, and I just told the wife, I said, call an ambulance. I don't know what's going on here. And turned out I was dehydrated. So, you'd be surprised what that dehydration does to you. And you think you're drinking enough, but, if the things that you're drinking are mostly diuretics, then you're really not getting the hydration that you need. I drink Miller Lite. That's my primary is Miller Lite, and but I like all kinds of beers. Sam Adams, Boston Lager, the Summer Ale. I like IPAs are my favorite as far as style of beer. I like the IPAs. A lot of the Voodoo Rangers, the Stone IPAs are really good. Yeah, I like beer. I drink beer 7 days a week. I'm not an alcoholic, but I drink beer 7 days a week. So my wife asked me if that was a problem, and I told her not as long as I've got beer in the house. If I run out, then it's a problem. She didn't like that answer, but I lose my phone here. I do like liquor. I actually, when I first met my wife, I was a big brandy drinker, and at some point, I guess I liked brandy too much, and my wife kind of told me no more, and I took her up on it. And but my favorite drink was 2 shots of brandy, 1 shot of dry vermouth, and a splash of tonic in a highball glass. That was my drink of choice. But yeah, I like bourbon. We actually went on a bourbon tour recently when we went to Oak Grove, Kentucky for my wife's birthday. We went to Old Glory Distilling Company in Clarksville, Tennessee, and sampled their bourbons and stuff like that. And it was very good stuff. But the only thing we brought home was a bottle of moonshine. My wife wanted. So I said, all this bourbon and you're bringing home moonshine. What the hell's the matter with you? Oak Grove, Kentucky is close to you. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Oak Grove, Kentucky is about 4.5 hours from us. So we're down close to St. Louis. I'm about 20 minutes from St. Louis. So East St. Louis is practically right down the street from me, probably 10 minutes away. So if that gives you any kind of an idea, the general area where we're at. And when we go, we usually take 64 to 57, take 57 to 24 in, go through Metropolis, and we usually stop off at the casino in Metropolis, Illinois, and then right before we hit the Kentucky border. So used to live in Missouri, about an hour away. I moved to Tennessee, about 30 minutes away from Nashville. Oh, yeah. Nashville is, I like Nashville. I cannot stand driving through Nashville. It's a pain in the butt. But, because the traffic is so terrible there. But it's a great city. Lots of great restaurants. My nephew, he's a chiropractor in Nashville, Tennessee. and so he's got a practice there, and so we go there every once in a while to visit with him and his fiance. But yeah, driving through Nashville is a pain in the butt. I wish it weren't. Takes 10 times on a scenery is nice, kind of makes up for it. You must have made a beeline comment and I missed it. An alternate route, because normally I think when we're in Nashville, we're on 24 by that time. I think that's 24 that means, and it's, I don't know what it is, a 5-lane on both sides, 4-lane, 5-lane on both sides, and it's still just congested and crazy. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it just is. I mean, there's a couple places that are like that. Like when we drive to Florida, we go to the Panhandle, like Cape San Blas, St. George Island, places like that around Appalachia or Appalachia, however you call that. Port St. Joe and stuff. And going through Nashville is always crazy. And there's I can't think of the name of the town. Hey, Steven, how you doing? How you been? Welcome back. I haven't seen you around for a little bit. Of course, I've been banned for a week, so and I just got to come back on here yesterday. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm hanging in there. So how you doing, Jamesy 1016? What's up? Anything going on interesting in your neck of the woods there? It's always good to be, seeing, regulars coming back in. Because like I have said before, when I was doing these a couple of years ago, I had a pretty good audience, and I got out of doing it and probably shouldn't have. Oh, you're in the hospital? Anything serious there going on, Steve? I am in Illinois, James. I'm not from Illinois, but I'm in Illinois right now. So, been in Illinois for the past 12 years, going on 12 years now. North Carolina. I like North Carolina. That's a beautiful state. All the Carolinas really are beautiful states. Thank you for the follow, Jamesy. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, there's a few states in the union I still haven't been to, but I've been to most states, partly because I was a Navy brat and I'm also a Navy veteran. So we moved around a lot when I was a kid. And, of course, when we were moving around, a lot of times we moved around via car. And so we got to see quite a bit, Oh, that's not good. Hopefully nothing too serious. How old are you, Steve? And I don't remember if you told me how old you are. Heart problems are bad. I see a cardiologist on a regular basis. I see him about every 6 months. I actually shouldn't say he, because the one that I had retired, and then the one that took over has an assistant, and I see her. 53. So you're right around the same age as me. I'll be 53 in June. Yeah, the heart's a serious thing that I like to take. My dad had terrible heart problems later in life. About a year and a half ago, might have been 2 years ago, he had a triple bypass and made him like a new man. So he still has, obviously he's not 100%, but that helped him out pretty dramatically. I was kind of, it's such an intrusive and major surgery too. So, but he recovered pretty quick. So I was kind of surprised by that. Thank you for the likes, James. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, I mean, I try to, and I was a smoker in my younger days. I kind of kick myself in the butt sometimes because I smoked, started smoking when I was 13. I smoked until I was probably about 26 or 27. And then I quit for a very long time. And then I wound up starting back up by accident, kind of because I was, deciding I was going to sit on the back patio and drink beer and puff on cigars. And then before you knew it, I was inhaling the cigars. And then I said, well, maybe if I just have a cigarette every once in a while, it takes a little bit less time to smoke than a cigar, but that doesn't work. So, said they would eat a raw egg. Who's eating a raw egg? Yeah, it's a big problem. I mean, I think that's probably, as far as I'm aware, I think it's the number one killer in America, probably around the world. Um, would I eat a raw egg? No. I see people do that all the time, and no, it's not my thing. I mean, I say that, and if I make a fried egg, I like my fried egg sunny side up, and I like to dunk my toast in the yolk. So that's kind of raw, but, just cracking it into a glass and drinking it, no, I can't do that. I would think it'd be slimy and, I'm not sure if it'd be the flavor or the texture, but I'm not going to try it. Thank you for the likes, Josh. I appreciate that. Now, I mean, that's one of those questions in life, right? Like, somebody say, well, what if somebody offered you $1 million? Would you eat a raw egg? Well, yeah. I mean, I'll suffer it out for $1 million, but just to crack it into a glass for the hell of it, that I won't do. But I'll do it for $1 million. I might even do it for $100,000. Hell, 10,000. I don't think it would kill me. No, Josh. You'd have to cough up $1 million. I'm going to stick with the $1 million. I'll give you my my PayPal, and you can send me $1 million, and then I'll come on here on live and I'll eat the raw egg. But I got to make sure that the $1 million clears first. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that would. I mean, some people are more, I guess, adventurous than I am. But yeah, there are certain things that I just can't. Even I often wonder, if I would like like mussels or raw oysters or stuff like that. If I would actually like them, I just can't get it out of my head. Sucking them and slurping them down my throat, and it just. Something about it just kind of gives me that kind of weird vibe. Show me the back of your head. Why do you want to see the back of my head? I mean, the back of my head is flat. I can tell you that. Runs in the family. I can't help the genetics. Just to be sure about what? It's almost Miller time, actually. I really don't have a set time, but usually I try to keep it around 4 or 5 o'clock. On the weekends, 2 or 3 o'clock, is acceptable. Unless I've been out doing yard work, then, noon or 1 o'clock is acceptable to me. And when I'm camping, you crack a beer, whenever you want. That's part of the fun of camping. You're just doing whatever the hell you want. You'd like to be certain of something. Well, you got to tell me what you want to be certain of. I mean, not that I'm opposed to showing you the back of my head. I'm just not sure why you want me to do it. Hey, from Missouri. How you doing, Kelly? I'm not that far from you. Well, depending on where in Missouri you're at. I'm in southern Illinois, about 20 minutes from St. Louis. So, yeah, camping is fun. Camping is, I guess... Technically, we're glamping, right? Because we've got a camper, so we've got all the amenities, and it's a pretty nice camper that we got. So we're not really roughing it necessarily, but it's a change of venue. You got your house pretty much with you. You're in St. Louis, okay? Yeah, so you're actually not that far from me. I don't know either, James. There's either a joke in there somewhere that I'm missing, or there's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would, Josh. To be honest with you, I don't know if I'd. You know, if you want me to eat raw eggs and see the back of my head, I'm not sure that I'm not sure you'd be the kind of person I would necessarily be inclined to hang out with. I'd be kind of questioning myself all the time about what this guy's after. You know, I might have to do some housekeeping on Josh here. Let's see that. Yeah, yeah, he would. I mean, at some point, he would see the back of my head for sure. Yeah, it'd be inevitable at that point. Maybe if he sends me a galaxy or something, a galaxy, I'll show him the back of my head for a galaxy. Not that I'm on here for gifts or coins or anything like that, but there's got to be something in it for me, right? If he's going to get something out of it. You'd know if I was bald. I'm not bald. I got all my hair. It's gray, but I've got it. Yeah, for now anyway. We'll see how long it lasts. Granted, that wasn't the back of my head. It was the front of my head, but yeah, I've still got my hair. Like I said, it's gray, but it's there. I guess I'll take that. I'm never going to be one of those guys that dyes my hair. I knew a guy I used to work with, and it was the blackest of black. I'm like, dude, man, everybody can tell it's dyed. I mean, why don't you just go natural? Guys don't do that. I mean, at least I don't think guys should, but thank you for that, Nick. I was I was getting to that point myself. I was kind of like, I don't know what this guy's up to here. Timing, cover hoses, etc. Good money in that business. I think we were talking about that once before. Real good money in that business. And I worked with a lot of mechanics. I think we were talking about that when I was selling concrete mixer truck parts. Worked with a lot of the diesel mechanics, and they all got paid big bucks to do what they did. But mechanics was never something I was ever into. Oh, industry can pay well at the very top right now. I'm not making diddly. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's probably like any business. You got to work your way up, and then, as you get more experience and more credentials and whatnot, the pay gets better. I think that's any industry really. And I mean, I remember back when I was, started working. If you could find a job that was paying $10 an hour, that was a good job. Now you look at $10 an hour and you're like, well, that's nothing. But how do you make an egg roll? You talking an egg roll, like a Chinese egg roll, or are you talking about actually making an egg roll? I'm trying to think if I've ever actually made an egg roll. I know I made homemade crab rangoon one time. It wasn't that hard to make. It just was messy and very time consuming. And then you realize you've got all these freaking crab rangoons, and you can only eat so many before it's too sweet and too sickening. So you're like, well, God, this was a waste. You got me. The answer was, you push it? Oh, yeah. That reminds me of a joke about Fords. Somebody said, every Ford owner gets his son a Matchbox Ford so he learns how to push it early on. being a Ford guy, I'm used to all the jokes. I think they're funny. So thank you for the likes, James. I appreciate that. I actually heard a funny joke. I don't know. Hopefully this won't get me banned. It's not that bad, but I heard a funny joke, so I'll try to tell it, and I'll try not to screw it up. Well, probably the joke is because can you say DWARF, or is that considered taboo? I better not tell the joke. I don't know. I don't know what TikTok's parameters are on that one. If I gotta say little people, or is that even acceptable anymore? Anyway, I'll leave the joke alone. I think I just got back on here. I don't want to get kicked off already. Oh, you can say dwarf. Okay. All of a sudden, poof, I'm gone. I mean, what about the 7 little dwarves, right? I mean, how do you say it without saying that, right? So, okay, let me see if I can do this without screwing up now that I distracted myself. And now that I'm terrified that I'm going to say the wrong thing. So this dwarf is interested in buying a horse. Or I'm sorry, I've screwed it up already. So there's a dwarf with a lisp, and he wants to go buy a horse. So he goes to a horse salesman, and he says, I want to see a horse. And so he says, well, do you want a mare, or do you want oh shoot, no, I can't think of what the boys are called. Anyway, he wants to see a mare. So he takes him out to the horse field, or wherever, stables, and shows him a mare. And he says, can I see the horse's eyes? And so the horse salesman lets him see the horse's eyes. He goes, oh, nice eyes. He said, can I see the teeth? Or the teeth, So the salesman, yeah, sure. He lets him see the horse's teeth. He goes, oh, very nice teeth. He says, can I see the horse's clot? Horse salesman kind of looks perplexed. All right. So he picks up the dwarf and he shoves it into the horse's female anatomy, and then pulls him out. And the dwarf kind of, looks shocked, and he goes, let me rephrase. Can I see it run around? Anyway, at least I didn't get kicked off of here. So, yet anyway. I probably screwed that joke up, but I think that's the gist of it anyway. You like that one. Every once in a while, I hear a good one. The problem I have 90% of the time with jokes is remembering the joke, especially the longer jokes. And you start screwing them up and you lose the whole thing. Oh, yeah, what's going on here? Nick is probably busy pulling a subframe or something, or dropping a subframe or something. Hey, thank you for the follow. I think Goofball. Is that Goofball? Yeah, Goofball. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what all the, I guess I've read through the guidelines. I've read through the rules, and, it's why when I said what I said that got me banned, I questioned it, because I'm like, well, there's nothing of what I said that even remotely breaks any of these rules. So I'm actually not sure what their determination was, or how they construed what I said to be something else. So, but it's their site; they can do what they want. And did you get to hear the joke? Yeah, I tried not to screw it up too badly. I'm not a joke teller by trade, so to speak. So hopefully I did it justice. I know a few good jokes, but some of them are not TikTok suitable, I'm sure. But I'd have to think about them before I tell them. Sometimes it's fun to just tell a couple of jokes, especially on days when I've got not much activity or much interaction. That's a good time to kind of kick in with one. The only jokes that I probably have 100% memorized are jokes that my dad told me, because over the years my dad has told me the same jokes probably 150,000 times. And to him, it's a new joke every time he tells them. And I'm just like doing my best to, laugh with him. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'll have to keep that one in mind. You don't know. It's the same thing with his stories. He's told me the same stories over and over again. Love him to death, though. I'm glad he's still around to tell me the stories, because there was a time there I thought time was growing a little bit shorter sooner than I would have preferred. So the fact that he's still around to annoy me is icing on the cake, so to speak. So I sometimes get reminded, if I don't call Dad enough, or he lives in Portageville, Missouri, so he's I don't know, 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away. So it's not like it's that far to drive, but to go see him or anything. But my wife always reminds me of the importance of keeping in contact. Because her parents died when she was young, and so she doesn't have the ability to spend time with her parents like I've had the ability to spend time with mine. My dad is 76 and my mom is 75. So, her dad died when she was 19 and her mom died when she was 12. So, sometimes we take that for granted that we've got parents, and, time is never a guarantee. So, make the most of every minute you got. Don't wait until it's too late. My wisdom for the day. That and save and invest. I tried to tell my dad that over the years. The funny thing about that is my dad watched me the entire time becoming more and more, wealthy. And I was always offering him advice, telling him, this, you do this, you do that, and he never took the advice. So, he likes to remind me every once in a while. He says, son, when I go, he says, there's going to be nothing there for you. I'm not going to leave anything for you. I said, Dad, I know. You live in a trailer in Portageville. I know. There's nothing there, Not that I want it anyway, but, I don't have my guitar out today, Connor. My guitar is like right down the hallway, but I didn't plan on playing any guitar today. Not on TikTok anyway. But there are times you must have been in my my live when I did bring the guitar out, and I didn't play any full songs, but I played bits and pieces of songs. But yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those things. I actually was talking about this on a YouTube live because I was doing some YouTube lives when I was kicked off at TikTok, because I do have a channel over there. I've got 3 channels over there, but I was somehow the guitar came up, and then one of the things I mentioned was I used to play guitar more. I still play it quite a lot, but all the songs that you memorize, after a while, if you don't play them for a while, you just don't remember them. You remember bits and pieces of them. I mean, you could, okay, yeah, I think it was a 1-4-5 in G or whatever. You remember that. So if I play a guitar, I've got to look at the tabs now, so I can remember the words and remember the other stuff. Very grateful I had to spend a good amount of time with my father and my grandparents. Yeah, my grandfather was 93 on my mom's side. My grandfather was 93 when he passed. My grandmother unfortunately passed when I was 13. She was 70. She had Lou Gehrig's disease, and but I had a lot of time with my grandfather, and now on my dad's side, we weren't as close to his side. We called her Nana. Well, she wanted to be called Nana, so I think she lived to 80. But my dad's father, he died when my dad was about 14 or 15, I think. I play country every once in a while. Yeah, I play all kinds of music. A little bit of country, a little bit of classic rock, a little bit of everything. Even if I look at my own music, the music is kind of all over the place. Because I'm not a professional musician, but I have released some songs. So I just do my own thing. And if something inspires me and I want to do a country song, or I want to do a rock song, or I want to do a 80s style song, then that's what I do. I'd have to think of one that I remember the chords to without having to bring my computer out. Like I was saying before, if I, without remembering them. And I don't play a lot of country. I'm trying to think of one. I mean, I was playing Country Roads the other day, which is, I think John Denver is mostly country. That's a fun song to play too, Country Roads. Yeah. See, well, the thing is, James, I used to remember a lot of the songs, but I don't remember them. Like I can remember. Hold on. Like I can remember bits and pieces. I can remember bits and pieces of songs, but then it takes me a little bit to kind of get to remember what the melody is. Like that's Sex and Candy by Marcy Playground, I think. So like I can remember bits and pieces, even like when you get down to the the chorus, but if I actually wanted to play the song, I would have to actually pull it up and do it that way. Thoughts on Johnny Cash? Love Johnny Cash. Love Johnny Cash. Matter of fact, it's become a big favorite of mine. His version of Hurt, which was done by Nine Inch Nails originally. Trent Reznor wrote that song. And, nothing against Trent Reznor, but the Johnny Cash song and the Johnny Cash version is way better. Just a lot of feeling there. He says, okay. What happened? Roy Orbison? Yeah, I know some Roy Orbison. I don't know it off the top of my head. I wouldn't be able to pick something up off the top of my head. Even if I tried to remember, even like that one that I just did with the Marcy Playground, like I said before, I can remember bits and pieces. But ask me to play the whole song. I know it's an E minor and a C and a D. Da 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 da. But if I wanted to actually play the song, I would have to actually pull it up and then, read the words. And, I just remember it's, the basic parts of it. But, yeah, I play bass. I say that loosely, though, because bass really... There's a lot of people that believe that bass is exactly the same as guitar. It really isn't. Bass, obviously, it's the notes are the same, but the way that the bass is played and how the bass is integrated into music is very different than the guitar. So kind of like the some people don't understand, or I shouldn't say understand, but a lot of people don't realize that the bass player and the drummer are usually locked in tight with each other, and they drive the entire song. And then, of course, the rhythm and everything else comes in after that. But the bass is a very different thing. The way you play bass riffs is different as well, even if the notes are the same. Your boxes are a little bit different. Where you've got minor or major pentatonic scale, you don't necessarily follow along in that pentatonic box or in pentatonic boxes, depending on your position. On the bass, the boxes are a little bit different, even if they're very similar. So I say I play bass. I can play bass enough to get by, but I wouldn't say I'm a professional bass player. For me, Dave Matthews. I like Grateful Dead music, but I've never understood the cult following around it. But I do like Dave Matthews, and Dave Matthews is an amazing guitar player. I wouldn't even be able to begin to imagine to do the things that Dave Matthews knows how to do with the guitar. Johnny Rebel. Somebody asked me about Johnny Rebel the other day. I don't think I even know any Johnny Rebel. I might, but the name's not even clicking for me. I'm assuming Johnny Rebel is probably a punk player. But yeah, I'm seriously, it's not ringing a bell for me for some reason. I know I've heard the name, and that means I probably have heard some of the music, but American country. Is that who Johnny Rebel? Is that what Johnny Rebel does? Is a country guy? Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I'm going to have to look him up. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. There was another guy who came in here. He was in my live when I had the guitar out before, and he told me to check out a song with Johnny Rebel. I'll have to look him up. And then I'm probably going to look him up and I'm going to be embarrassed because I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, okay. That happens to me a lot. I'm terrible with names. King of the South. That sounds like a song. I can almost hear it in my head. Hey, thank you for popping in, Something Wong. I like that, Something Wong. It just now clicked. I was talking to you, and it just now clicked what your name is there. Yeah, Song of the South. Song of the South. Yeah, that's what I was. That's why that's clicking for me. That's not Song of the South, though. That's the opening. Few notes to Sweet Home Alabama. That just made me think of that when he wrote Alabama. Hey, Tim, how you doing, buddy? Welcome back. They forced me to bring my guitar out. I didn't want to bring it out, but James forced me to bring it out. So I said, okay, whatever. I don't have my computer in front of me, though. I was telling the crowd, I said, I don't remember the songs by heart anymore. So I have to actually look at the music. I can remember some parts and pieces. Thank you for the lightning bolts, Tim. I can remember bits and pieces, but as far as trying to actually play the song, that would be more difficult for me to do. I wish I could. I mean, there's like even riffs. You'll remember certain riffs, but then putting those riffs together. I used to work at it, to remember songs, because if you were sitting around in a group, somebody say, "Hey, play this," you could play it. I want to know how to play a pedal steel guitar. Yeah, those are very different too. A lot of people think that they are like a guitar, but because they're flat, there's a lot of differences, and it's all slide. Pedal steel guitar is all slide. Slide is a technique on guitar that actually takes a while to really master, because when you play on slide, like if I'm fretting, I'm usually fretting close to the fret. When you slide though, you're more right on the fret. So it takes quite a bit of coordination. What time is it anyway? 4:09. Ooh, 4:09. That used to be a great cleaner. Anybody remember 4:09? Do they even still make that? Big says boo. Yeah, I don't know if well, of course, I don't really, the cleansers we buy anymore, either I make my own, just bleach and water. That's what I use to clean the bathroom. And the other stuff we get from Dollar Tree, which actually works pretty good, totally awesome. Yeah, 311. Yeah, I couldn't name a song from 311, but definitely have heard of them. Shame about Three Doors Down's lead singer passing away just recently. So I guess a shout out to the Three Doors Down singer, and I can't remember his name either, but I know he just passed away a couple of days ago. BDJ says, question. Sure. Ask away. I always say that on these, but actually I've had such good interaction the past few of these. I haven't had to, but it's always an open forum here. So it's kind of a free-for-all. It's whatever anybody wants to talk about, and then the live kind of goes according to, the collective, so to speak. So jumps off of that. They're more fun to do that way. I've tried topics many times before in the past, and it just never works. At least not on the TikTok platform. If you've got a niche down YouTube channel and you do a live there, sure, you've got a niche down topic and that's what it's going to be, and it's better. But my day is good, Batman. How is your day going? I had a few errands to run earlier in the day, and I got all that done and decided to come on and waste a little bit of time on TikTok for a little while. Says, would you be a fake friend for not defending my one friend when my other friend was trolling him? And my other friend got angry and cried. It's a very confusing question. Thank you for the follow something, Wong. Not sure I understand the question. Would I be a fake friend for not defending my one friend when my other friend was trolling him? Then my other friend got angry and cried. Well, I guess, if I'm understanding your question right, I mean, what does a friend do? A friend is someone who is going to look out for you. If someone is trolling someone and they're calling that person a friend, they're probably not a friend. I'm still not sure I'm getting snowballs thrown at him. Two friends were beefing, and this guy didn't stand up, and homeboy cried. Well, maybe homeboy needs to grow a pair. That's the first thing. Beefing, this guy didn't stand up. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess I would have to know more, right? Because am I gonna always stand up for my friend? If my friend is wrong, I'm not going to stand up for him. But I guess, if we're talking about a snowball fight, I mean, the snowball fight's all in fun, isn't it? Unless you pack a rock into the snowball purposely, and then somebody gets hurt. I guess I'm having difficulty with that question, and I don't know why. Because after Nick explained it, it makes perfect sense to me, but I'm not sure where I'm going with the answer. So, did I answer your question, BDJ, or am I still, or are you as confused as I am? Maybe Nick can tell me how I did. It's stumping me. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm following it. Cam got sad when Ricardo threw snowballs at him. Well, I guess one question, would be, well, how old are these homeboys? How old are these guys? Because that would determine a lot in, I guess, how it would be assumed someone would react to something, or how they would take it. Or thank you for the likes, something Wong. I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, it sounds to me like they'd be, kids. That's what it sounds like. Does need to. Cam is 12 and Ricardo is 14. Yeah, that's probably a question of maturity level at 12 and 14, right? I mean, when you're 12 and 14, you're not necessarily mature. So you're going to react to things in a different way than if you were 22 and 24, right? Or 32 and 34. Your response and your reaction is going to be different. I mean, I think, at this stage of my life, if I had a buddy who just decided to throw a snowball at me, I would probably be like, the fuck, dude? Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about it. That's why I'd just be like, the fuck, dude? Are we 14? Fuck that. Anyway. I don't think fighting ever really solves much, BDJ, to be honest with you. There are times when fighting is necessary. I say that about war a lot. Sometimes war is nasty, but it's necessary. Same goes for fighting. It really depends on the situation. If I'm going to find myself in a fight, it's going to be over something that is pretty big. It's going to have to be something pretty big for me to start wanting to throw fists around. A simple argument is one thing. A fight is a totally different thing. When I was 14 or when I was 12, would I have been more inclined to engage in, a fist fight? Probably. But that goes back to maturity. We handle things differently when we're adults than we do when we're kids. So I hope that answers your question. You're in the wrong place, Crazy Bean. You're in the wrong place. You better find another place. This isn't the place to sleep. And I never shut up, so I'm not one of those that go on the lives, and I'm not dissing the people that do and just stare at the phone. I try to be somewhat engaging, I guess, throughout. Whether I succeed at that or not is questionable, but that's what I try to do. I always like to think, because it makes me wonder, what is the purpose of the person who goes on their live but doesn't say anything and, just, hey, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, and that's all they do. What is the purpose of that? Because my thought would be that the purpose would be to engage, interact. I mean, that's what the lives to me are about. But maybe for some people it's to get the gifts, or I guess people do it for a lot of reasons is what I'm saying. Thank you for the follow, Crazy Bean. Despite my loudness, I apologize in advance for keeping you up. Well, I'm probably going to I'll pop off of here soon. I've been on here. Let's see, how long was I on here? Not as long as I normally am, that's for sure. 55 minutes. That's actually not a lot of time for me. But I started this later in the day because I was busy out running around earlier in the day, and I got other things I probably should do, even though the day is winding down. So, thank you for the likes, Crazy Bean. I appreciate that. How many likes do we got here? 1,800. That's low compared to some days, but I don't know what it means if I have a live that has 50,000 likes when I shut it down. Does that mean anything? Does that do anything? Yeah, I always enjoy you being around, Nick. Hope I must not be a boring guy to you because you keep coming back. So I try to bring something to the table, I guess. Go drop a subframe or something. It's gonna be a going joke now. Somebody asked about where Nick was. Nick's my moderator. Somebody asked earlier. They said, "Where's Nick hiding at?" Because he hadn't popped in yet. And I said, "He's probably dropping a subframe or something. I don't know." Even if you didn't bring anything to the table, I think I'd still show up. I appreciate that. I try to be somewhat engaging and interesting, but I do appreciate that. The best part about doing the lives is having familiar faces pop in, and then getting to know people, and and then you can have even more fun, even more engaging conversations, and joke around and stuff. Thank you, Shea Too Trim, for the I said thank you, and now I'm sorry I did. I don't know if Nick sounded like he was popping out, so I'll just, if we double up on it, that's fine with me, but we don't want that in here. Yeah, thank you, Nick. I wasn't sure if you were signing out, so I was like, well, let me get rid of that person. That's, it's almost one of those weird things, because 99% of the time when somebody shares a live, I mean, I always say, hey, thanks for the share. 99% of the time, the person is sharing to other trolls, and then all of a sudden you've got all these people popping in that are just trying to wreck the experience. I do think that TikTok needs to crack down on some of that stuff. I really do. I mean, the moderator does a fantastic job. I can't thank Nick enough for what he does. But TikTok should police things a little bit better. But the problem is, I think that people get an account killed and somehow they're able to get another account. And then some of them have multiple accounts. So you block them on one and they come in with another one. It's a vicious cycle. Yeah, I appreciate that, Nick. But obviously, it helps greatly when you're here. Matter of fact, the time I got banned, you weren't here. So I was not wise enough to, I guess, stop myself from responding to someone. Even though I will say that the thing that the troll said, I mean, he basically wanted to buy my dirty socks. I didn't even think what he said was that bad. I was like, okay, I mean, that's a joke I might tell. Hey, man, you want to buy my dirty socks? But I responded to it, and I guess the way I responded to it was against the rules, supposedly. So it it is. Look, I'm not going to repeat what I said, because that's going to get me in trouble if I say what I said then. But let me put it in benign terms. Here, I'll do it this way. If somebody wants to buy an egg from me, they can do whatever they want with the egg after they've paid me for it. What do I care? Scramble it, fry it, make an omelet out of it. Go feed it to an alligator. Crack it on the ground. Egg somebody's house with it. I don't care what you do with the egg after you buy it from me. I'll take the money. It's not my business what you decide to do with it after I've collected. And that's all I really said. But it must have been said in a way that was considered suggestive. Let's put it that way. I'm being very careful here. Very careful here in my explanation. Yeah. Sometimes I can get myself in trouble, even if I'm not trying to. And I wasn't trying to get myself in trouble. I've said far worse things, even on TikTok, and wasn't banned for that, but that got me banned. Which makes it that much more confusing to me because now I don't know what I can say. You know, something that seems fairly benign to me turns out to be something that gets me banned for a week. So, you know, I don't want to have to parse my words, but I guess if I want to stay on TikTok, I have to some extent anyway. Yeah, I agree with you. They really are. And again, I go back to that, you know, thought that I had earlier, which is that, you know, it's an algorithm. It's not a person. And okay, I'm okay with an algorithm, you know, kicking you off if it thinks you broke a rule. But when it comes to the appeal process, it needs to be an actual human set of eyes, a human set of brains processing through and then determining whether or not the algorithm got it right or wrong, you know. So I don't know why you would say that. Let me eat ball. But mine certainly isn't. He can drop a subframe. I don't know what that means exactly, but it sounds heavy to me. I get a kick out of some of these trolls. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Nick. Another Nick 14J. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Well, mine certainly. Look. I mean, I don't know what my moderator's politics are, but he knows I'm a conservative Republican and a Trump supporter. So I really don't know what his politics are, and frankly, I don't care what his politics are. You know, it wouldn't change my thoughts about him personally, but anyway. Yeah, I don't even know why I bothered to respond to him, Nick. I guess I just sometimes I can't help myself but to try to make a point in response to idiocy. Think of it likes Nick 14J. I appreciate that. I got to call you by your whole name so I don't get you confused with my moderator, Nick, who is Rusting 5.0, I think it is. Rusting 5.3. There we go. Yeah, even there's something that I learned a long time ago when I started doing these lives a couple of years ago. And that was to read the comment to myself first and then read the comment out loud. That was a hard lesson, but I figured that out real quick. Read it to myself first and then read it out loud. But that does make it harder when there is more activity and things are moving faster. Because, you not only have to read it, but you have to digest it and then be able to respond to it if it's something you can respond to. Yeah, exactly. These days now, when I'm doing it now, I don't have as many people in the chats. I'm sure that'll change as time goes on, and as I do more and more of these, I'm sure that there'll be more down the road, but it'll be harder to keep up. Right now, it does help though that you're moderating because I don't have to keep up with the riffraff that comes in. You take care of them, and then I can just concentrate on the more important stuff, I guess, if I wanted to call it more important, right? Is anything that we do on these lives important? I don't know. It's just fun for me. Yeah, I mean, if you've been around, yeah, I mean, I try to bring something to them. Hopefully, I succeed with that. But I guess that's up to the viewer to decide if they agree with that or not. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Oh, April's in the house. Why do you always show up as soon as I'm ready to pop out of here? Is that by design? Oh shit! What is that? The popular. Thank you for the popular, April. I keep on trying to find when I'm scrolling through the lives. I keep on trying to see if you're. I know you said you don't go on live very much, but spread the love if I happen to see you. How's things going on my lot over there? Is anybody asking about me or missing me? Even they probably are glad I'm gone. Actually. Just got home from getting kids. You got those kids to deal with over there. You ever stream like an activity like with some of your buddies? No, I've never done that. No. Oh, about me? I would assume. Bad stuff, I'm sure. That loud mouth, that pompous ass, yeah. There's a backstory there. Maybe one of these days I'll tell it. April knows what I'm talking about. April and I are, I guess you could say friends, right? I mean, we never met each other, but we know each other on another social platform. That's where we met. So a little bit of history there. Oh, Wichita. Yeah, I used to spend a little bit of time in Wichita. Man, Spangles. I love Spangles. So keep that in mind. That's some good food. That's a garlic Parmesan burger. Oh, man, on a sourdough. Anyway, thanks for popping in, Nick, and you have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you around on one of these again in the future. So there was a bunch of drama the other day. Louis said something about Black History Month didn't go over well. Yeah, I consider friends. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, friends are. Nowadays social media kind of brings people from far and wide together, and yeah. So I would say the same. Poor Louisville. I feel bad for a lot because even I mean, look, the admin over there tried several times to kind of get some jabs at me, and I fought back every single time. And I don't know if it was because I would go off and write a blog that was not very friendly to my lot. And if my lot knows that I have a very large blog audience, that they kind of just backed up a little bit and left me alone. But every time I've talked to Louisville, she's always hit hard by admin. So most of my friends are social media friends. Yeah, no, yeah, that's the same here. A lot of people don't realize, as you get older, you don't have time for hangouts and get-togethers, and you get older and you get set in your ways. I know you're younger than I am, but my days of like even going to the bars half the time. I mean, when I was in Wisconsin, I spent a lot of time in the bars. It's been forever and a day since I've actually, gone to a bar. And frankly, there's not really any good ones around here. They don't know how to do it in Illinois like they can do it in Wisconsin. So, yeah, I got many arguments with admin, many, especially when Mike Radcliffe was the admin. Him and I went rounds, and to the point where he hates my guts now. And the one thing that I always said, because the thing about admin over there on my lot, um, is that I don't have a problem necessarily if you're going to delete something, right? Okay, fine. You think something is not appropriate or whatever, right? Have the decency as a creator. I guess I don't know what you'd call a content creator there. Have the decency to at least come to me before you do it and say, hey, I don't think this is right, or hey, maybe you can make this change, or instead I gotta send a message to the admin and say, hey, why did you delete my post? And I get a nasty message back. I don't have to explain myself, and you should know the rules. Blah 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 blah. Okay, whatever, buddy. I got that a lot, and that one surprised me when that was going around. I guess, is it still going around? That I'm admin on my lot. I could never figure that out because I might be. I don't know if I'm one of the more controversial ones on the site, but that would surprise me. That it's I shouldn't say would surprise me. It does surprise me that people would even think that, unless they think that my controversialness is a ploy or a decoy rather. I made a post where I tagged a bunch of people and just basically wondering where people were. Admin told me to mess with people. I never understand that. That never has made any sense to me. Thank you for the rose, Emily. I appreciate that. I even wrote a letter to admin after something else, and I said, look, this whole site is about making friends, community, sharing with each other what we're doing throughout our day. Why would it be weird, or why would it be inappropriate for me to say, hey, where's Nancy at? Has anybody heard from Nancy in a while? I never understood that. Never has made any sense to me. Still a few people thinking that. I don't understand why they would think I was admin. Thank you, Aaron, for the rose. I appreciate that. That just boggles my mind why anybody would think that. I guess maybe I should go back on my lot and find a way to have some fun with that. That might be fun. I don't know. What in the world would make them think that I would be admin of all people? I don't know. Well, it happens, Aaron. I've done it myself. I can't refund you, though. There's no way for me to refund you. Accidentally send me a galaxy or something like that. I mean, if you're gonna do it, on accident, do it right. Send me something good, right? Only talked to about 3 or 4 people with you gone, Jeff, Amber, Kayla, and Four Walls. Yeah, it got to be about the same for me. I think of all the people that I frequently talk to, it was Jeff for sure, Four Walls quite a bit, Linda a lot, you whenever you were on there, and there's somebody I'm missing. Louisville for sure. Kayla, I kind of had to pull back from talking to her a little bit because I was getting to the point where I was going to have a harder time telling her what I actually thought about certain things. So I wanted to refrain from that, even though I don't generally do that. I don't generally refrain, but I don't know. I mean, I just didn't want to do it. Send $1,000 to his bank account at this point. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll invest it wisely. If anybody does that, I'll give them my PayPal. I'm not afraid to give anyone my PayPal. If they wanna send me some money, I'll take every penny I can get. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts too, April, on that. And a bit of a, hey, how's it going, gaming? When you were on here last time, I meant to ask you your name. I don't necessarily always like to call people by their handles, but if I know your name now, whether or not I remember your name, that's another story. But I try to remember people's names as much as I can, even if I'm terrible with names. Daniel. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Matter of fact, I'll write it down so I can memorize it. I'm trying to get better at that because gaming, as a guy I met by accident, I had decided to do a battle, and he turned out to be a good guy. I wasn't sure at first, but because he was silent, he didn't say anything. He just had a question. But that's the fun of doing the battles for me. That's why I like to do them. If he forgets, you'll have to forgive him. He's old and senile. Thanks, April. Yes, I am. You know, I joke about this all the time, but it's true. I am so bad with names. I was very good at sales. I mean, very, very good at sales. I made I made a lot of money in that business. And you know, when I tell somebody that I'm bad with names, they're like, "Well, how the hell are you good at sales if you couldn't remember somebody's name?" I said, "Well, luckily I was in business to business sales, and all the guys that I worked with were diesel mechanics and things like that that I was selling parts to. So everybody was Bud. Hey, what's up, Bud? How's it going, Bud? Hey, how's it going today, Bud? You know, so you didn't have to remember names." Yeah, April and I, Daniel, we're old friends, I guess. We've known each other probably, well, it's got to be at least 5+ years, I would think. Maybe longer, actually. Have I ever been digging in the mud? Oh, sure. When I was a kid, I used to dig in the mud all the time. That was fun. Yeah, yeah. It's sort of an inside joke. Yeah, she calls me old man. You know, I'm only 52, so but of course I have the face of a 70-year-old, so that doesn't help. And then when I've got sort of get off my lawn personality on another site, I guess I get accused of being like an old man. Big man, it's no longer doing that. I chased it and caught it and stopped it. Yeah, yeah. Daniel beat me to the punch. I saw his comment after I responded to it. Ever tried the back door? I don't know what back door you're referring to, James. I have a feeling I know what back door you're referring to, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so let's see. 36 to 52, that puts, what is that to be? Gosh, I'm terrible at math. It's a wonder I ever made it in the stock market. 15 years, something like that. 15, 14. I don't have a calculator in front of me. How you been doing anyway, April? I know I haven't gotten to talk to you on my lot for a little bit. Seems like you're doing okay. I gotta get back over there. I'm not totally away from my lot. I've been focused on other things. Trying to get my YouTube channels going a little bit, and of course, wanting to get back into the TikTok thing. And there's been some other endeavors that I can't say much about right now, but but I've thought about maybe just popping in there for maybe an hour in the morning. Just say hello and look around and see what everybody's up to. I do miss it. It used to be so much more fun over there. It's really unfortunately gone downhill, which I think it was part of the thing. When I started to walk away from it a little bit, I didn't really look back that much. Oh, you know what? I'm like, why am I not seeing anything moving? And normally I'll see something on the bottom like likes, or I'll see something, and I must have been stuck on a comment that I scrolled up to and I didn't scroll back down. So I missed a bunch of stuff. I've got the flu, but other than that, pretty good. Oh, the flu sucks. I hate the flu. Mom's doing okay. I actually was with her today. I say she's doing okay, but the hallucinations are getting really bad. I mean, really bad. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I got to talk to my sister and see when the next neurology appointment with the neurologist is, because she's the one that takes care of the medical. I take care of my mom's financial. So I know it's coming up soon. We need to talk to the neurologist about that, see if we can find some kind of a remedy for that. Hey, Sam Neo One, how you doing? Yes, I do remember you. Thank you for the likes too, as well. No, she's living in my sister's basement right now. Which whenever I say that, oh my God, you got your mom in a basement. She's my sister's basement's like a house. That my sister and brother-in-law have a 6,000 square foot house, and the basement is basically 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a laundry room, a full kitchen, a family room, and a living room, as well as storage and everything else. So it's a pretty good size place. But that's where she stays for now. I'm not one who is a big advocate of putting people in nursing homes. But I think there is going to come a time when that may be something we're going to have to seriously consider. But for now, she's there. But that gets an instant block. That's not even something I'm going to even remotely entertain. Yeah, I mean, when you say independence, I mean it's been tough because the car was taken away quite a long time ago, probably 2-3 years ago, something like that, and it's been gradually, becoming harder for her to do very basic, simple things. Make a sandwich, can't do it. Make a pot of coffee, can't do it. We've got her using a Keurig now. So far, she's okay with that. Figuring her way around on the phone. It's every time we see her, you got to reset everything because she's pressed so many buttons and everything's all screwed up. There really hasn't been a diagnosis other than it is some form of dementia. From all the things that we've read on it, based on her symptoms and things like that. Thank you, Shrug, for the heart puffs and the cream cones and the awesomes. Thank you, I appreciate that. We think it's Lewy body. That's the one. Thank you, April, for the roses. I appreciate that. I should be in a battle here. So we think it's Lewy body, but I don't think they can really diagnose it for sure. Thank you again, April. Until she's unfortunately passed away, and then they can, if we were to determine or want to determine what it is specifically, then they'd have to do an autopsy and determine, exactly what type of dementia I guess she has. But we think. Hey, Carlos, welcome back. How you doing? Yeah, I should, James. I mean, I got time to do one. I guess I could try. I don't want to make anybody, lose their coins. I might have missed one of your comments. It says, I think we've talked about that before. I just forgot exactly. Maybe you're talking about the dementia thing. I'll win. James said I'll win if I do a battle. I don't know how to do a battle, or I'd do one with you. You'd have to go live, and then on the bottom left, you hit the host's little linked up thing, and then you just, Actually, that's not correct because that'll invite people in to do a battle, but you'd have to specifically send an invite to me that I would see, and then I would click on it and then do a battle with you. I think that's how it works. I've never actually been able to do it that way, so man, I could be completely wrong about that. Thank you, Avery, for the likes. I appreciate that. About her diagnosis, yeah. This is we can make them win. I probably could do one. I was gonna get off of here, then April popped in, and I wanted to talk to her a little bit. So I was like, well, I'll stick around for a little while longer. But I don't know. Should I do a battle? Should we try one? You know, because I've said, and now April may not know this because I talked about it, I think in the last couple of lives, man. I don't think she was here, but like I don't do the battles for the gifts. I mean, I'll take them. You know, I always appreciate them. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it's more entertainment. I mean, you meet some really interesting characters when you do them, and that's why I like to do them. You know, but anyway. I actually met Daniel that way, and in that case, that turned out to be a good one to meet. So he wasn't a character; he was actually a good guy. So do one before I have to leave work real quick. And Carlos says yes. Now I only got one person in the room, and they're in the chat. So maybe I'll do one real quick. Let's see. Let's try that. I don't know if that'll work. I got it popped up on my screen. It said, invite Frugal in Florida, which is April, to join live as a guest. So I sent the invite, but I don't know if she gets it or I don't know how that works. That's above my pay grade. So I don't know. She's got to be online. I know that it does recognize, you know, if somebody is somebody that you follow, if they happen to be online or on TikTok, I guess it works that way. So we'll try one, and then I do have to get off of here. But I guess James has got to go to work too. So let's try one. Let's see what we get. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a complete grab bag, right? Hey, how you doing, bud?
No,
Did you want a battle?
no. What are you doing?
No, I said, did you want a battle?
What are you doing?
Oh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Doing a live.
Or doing live. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, do you want to sell your car to me?
Sell a car to you?
Yeah, a car.
Yeah, I don't have I don't have a car to sell you. If I had a car to sell you, I'd sell it to you, but I don't have one.
Why there's a car on your profile?
Oh, that's my truck.
Truck. Go.
Yeah, but that one's not for sale. Although I'll sell you my truck for $1 million if you got $1 million.
Where are you from?
I'm in the U.S.
God.
Yeah. Where are you at?
I'm in Spain.
Spain. Okay. Yeah. I've never been to Spain. Of course, I've only been to Mexico outside of the country.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Goodbye.
That was interesting. Can I sell you a car? Or no, can I buy a car? You're going to sell me a car. What the hell was that about? Oh, that's why I love those. Even if that wasn't a battle. I mean, a guy in Spain sees me. Somehow he thinks I'm selling him a car. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, I probably do them all for the wrong reasons. But I mean, I think for me that is the fun. I mean, who do you get? What are they up to? You can't make it up. I mean, I remember the one the one girl that popped in, and her dog was dying. She had PTSD. She was I don't know what the hell else was wrong with her. She was on all kinds of medications, and all the while she was putting together a dresser. I don't know. Interesting. Thanks for the likes, James. Oh, I have way too much fun on this thing. That's why I keep on coming back around here, because I have just way too much fun, and I don't even know if it's proper or right for me to. I mean, should I make fun of people sometimes that pop up in my side by sides or in the battles? Is that wrong for me to do that, or is it okay for me to have a little bit of fun? You can't make it up. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to make fun of somebody. I'm just observing and then giving my thoughts on what I'm observing. Let's see if I could try one more. I really do got to get off of this thing, but let's try. There is entertainment value in this, James. I'm telling you. Hey, Bryce, how you doing? I think I remember you. I'm getting punchy now. We had a very interesting. Well, it didn't turn into a battle, but we had a very interesting person pop in here.
Come, guys. Hello.
Hello. How you doing? How's it
Doing
going?
good. How are you?
Okay. All right. No comment.
Hey.
Hello. What's the Navy thing there?
Oh my God, you speak English.
Have you run into a bunch of people that don't?
That's not gonna be so hard. We don't speak English at all. I mean, we can speak, but not like a perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good.
Well, you seem like you're speaking English fine.
I was in the high school. Maybe that's why. So I got the DJ Navy. He's right here. All right. So. There you go.
What's up?
All right,
That's-
DJ Navy. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's my dog. He is DJ.
Yeah.
I
What
was
you
curious
doing?
because I'm ex-Navy. That's why I was wondering what that was.
Oh, yeah. So what you doing?
Yeah.
Are
Me
you
now?
doing? Yeah.
Oh, I'm retired.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you-
not retired from the Navy, but I'm retired. Yeah.
Oh, how long you got on TikTok?
I've been on TikTok probably for 4 or 5 years, but off and on. I just got back. So yeah.
What? Years? I got like just 1 week and that's all.
You got what?
I just got 1 week on TikTok. Week.
Oh,
A week.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
week.
my.
Oh, week.
I don't even know how to use this.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
You gotta do. How many followers you got?
I think I've got about 1,500.
1,500.
Yeah,
You got it?
not a lot because I don't do a lot on the videos, and I actually stayed off of TikTok for a couple of years. So
You
I
gotta
kinda
do.
lost.
You know what you gotta do? I know it's gonna be so hard to explain you. Like I said, I don't speak English at all, but I'm trying my best. You gotta do like it's a community. It's just community. You go in. Sometimes you can just the thing is like you follow people, and every people you follow, they gonna be following you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah, that's so easy. Like, look at me. I told you, I got 1 week, and look how many people I got. I got like 1,000.
How many you got?
I got 1,000.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'm just doing like just for like 1 day. I just did it for 1 day, and look, I got a lot of followers.
Yeah, I've been doing, or I got back into the lives because I had a lot of fun doing it a couple of years ago. I had quite a few people that would pop in regularly. So it's been slow kind of getting it back built up again. But I always enjoy just interactions with people. So
And yeah, you gotta do that. TikTok gonna be pay you If you got 10,000 people follow you, they're gonna be pay you. That's what I want.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
want.
I don't do TikTok for the money, but people do send gifts and people are generous. And then I take a lot of those coins, and when I'm going around other people's lives, I'll kind of spread the love around a little bit. I'll keep some of it, but I ain't gonna give it all back,
All right, so let me try to follow you. I'm send you the life like that. You can. Oh no, if you interested in that, you can join. That's all. You can get like easy followers.
Yeah. I'll give you a follow back. Yeah, I gotta jump out of here because I actually was gonna jump out a few minutes ago, but I just figured I'd jump around. But nice to meet you, man.
All right, nice to meet you too, bro.
Hey, have a good one.
All right, you too, man. Okay.
That was interesting too. Yeah. Some of them do that. I don't know what it determines. And I guess maybe because he was new and he didn't know how to maybe initiate a battle. But still fun. He kept on saying it. He was like, I don't speak English at all. And when he was, I'm understanding every single word you're saying. I had a guy who was native speaking English on yesterday, and I couldn't understand a word. So there you have it. Yeah, he must have had me in the background, and I know when you do it from your phone, it mutes out the other side because I can hear him, but it's not going to go into my speaker. I don't know how it does it, but he must have been on a computer or something. And so a lot of guys that do it that way, they'll either have earbuds in so they can hear, but it doesn't bleed out or bleed through, or some other things. So it was, yeah, I didn't, I thought that too. I mean, it didn't look like a U.S. Navy symbol or anything or logo or anything, but I thought it was interesting that it was there. So I was a little bit intrigued, me being ex-Navy. So, but and I didn't think, I don't think he was a bad guy. He seemed like a good guy to me. So I didn't draw anything negative out of that. But yeah, I mean, like I say, that's the whole purpose for me of doing the battles or even the invites. It's just either you're going to be you're either going to be entertained or intrigued, perplexed. You just don't know what you're going to get. It's a complete grab bag. So I think that for me is the entertainment value. Well, hey, I'm going to jump out. I appreciate everybody who was here. I know there's only, it looks like I got an empty room again, but I appreciate everybody who popped in. I appreciate all the gifts, and I appreciate seeing familiar faces coming back. So hopefully I'm offering something, at least of a little bit of value to you to keep coming back. So you guys have a good one, and I'll definitely catch you around. I'll probably be on here tomorrow for a little bit. I can't keep myself away. So you guys all have a good one. Appreciate it.